Lesson 2, bar graphs. So we're going to begin by determining which is our independent or dependent variable. So this chart has to do with books borrowed from libraries and moose jaws versus Regina per month. So what I'm noticing is I've got 3 categories, which means I'm going to actually have a double bar graph here. We have 2 pieces of data because the month is our independent variable, but the amount of books is both dependent. So each of those are going to be a separate dependent, which means we're going to have 2 bars. So let's put a title to our graph. So it's going to be Regina versus Moose Jaw Libraries. Our x-axis then is going to be months. And our y-axis is going to be books, number of books borrowed. Okay, so let's make our axis. So the way that a bar graph works is we actually label it for the bar like that. It doesn't look like that, but we would label it here like January. It goes underneath the bar. But because we're doing 2 bars, we're going to go every 2 lines. So 2 lines. And then we're going to say those are our January months. And then a bar graph leaves a space between the bars. So we'll say the next set of bars goes from here to here, and then that would be February, space, March, space, April, space, May, space, June, space, July, space, August, space, September, space, October, and then there's not actually enough room on this graph, so we're just going to make our own up here, November. Now let's choose our y-axis. So it looks like our smallest number is 65. Yep, nothing's higher than that. And our biggest number is 275. So we're going to go up by 50s. So we're going to go 50, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. Okay, now when I do a bar graph, I like to start by doing what I call the top shelf, so the top of where the bar is going to be. So the first one's at 105, so I would write 105 there. And with bar graphs, we generally do them in 2 different colors. You're not supposed to graph in pen, but you could graph in pencil and then outline in a different color. You also can shade in the colors. As long as you're not scribbling and making it look ugly, I'm fine. Or you can just leave it as 2 separate bars and I can figure it out. But I'm going to do 2 colors on the screen. So that would be our first bar would be our Moose Jaw books, and then 185. There's our Regina books. And then what you can do once you've done all of them is you can draw your bars in. So it would look like this. And of course you're using a ruler, which I count on the iPad. So that would be my first set of bars for January and in Moose Jaw and in Regina. So I want you to pause the video, and then I want you to go through and do all of the top shelf, top of the bars for each of these Moose Jaw and Regina. Okay, it should look something more like this. And now once that's done, you can go in and draw your bars in, knowing that it's easier to start with the taller bar going down first. So your final graph should look something like this. So that is how you do a bar graph. So note the important things is the space between the bars, and we label our bars. We don't label the lines, so it goes underneath the bars.